morning. Today we're going to talk about Module 3, Lessons 1 and 2, and this module is about the solar system. Just like the other modules that we went through, this one also has an anchoring event. This one is the solar system's movement through space. Normally when we think about movement of objects in the solar system, we think about a picture with the sun in the center and each planet following a pretty circular path around the outside, showing the orbit of the planet. This one is going to take into account the fact that our solar system is also moving through the galaxy. So we have orbits, but we also have movement of the entire solar system at the same time, and it produces something more like this picture. So they have a video that you want to watch, and it shows you from different angles what this movement is going to look like. We're also going to draw an initial model. How does the solar system and its objects affect life on Earth, except we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to answer the question, how does the sun and the moon affect life on Earth? So our diagram is going to have a picture of the moon, it's going to have a picture of the Earth, and it's going to have a picture of the sun. And then you're going to write a paragraph about what would happen if there were no sun, or what would happen if there were no moon. What effects do they have? The next thing they want to talk about is they start talking about the Goldilocks zone. You guys know the story of Goldilocks. If you don't know the story of Goldilocks, I attached it. If you go to the lesson content page, there's a link and there is a Goldilocks video in there that you can watch if you've never heard the story. I also included a short clip from Bugs Bunny when he did a take on the Goldilocks story. But when they're talking about the Goldilocks story, they're talking about a habitable zone. They're talking about an area between too hot and too cold. If the Earth were just closer to the sun, we could become too hot and you wouldn't be able to have liquid water on the planet. Or if we move farther away, we might be too cold and all the water will be frozen. So we're just right. We're in the right place so we can have life. And what NASA does is NASA sends probes out into space and it tries to identify different planets that are in that Goldilocks zone around other stars that are possible Earths and possibly could maintain life. The next part of the lesson is going to talk about all the different objects that are in the solar system. Our solar system has 8 planets. We have 5 dwarf planets, 165 moons. We have 1 star, we have asteroids, meteors, comets, and the Kuiper Belt. So we're going to start off and we're going to try to find out a little bit of information on each one of those. There's 15 different objects, and you're going to find solar system data collection document. And what you're going to do is you are going to go and you're going to find the mass of the object, the diameter of the object, the distance from the sun, and you're going to complete this. I'd like you to do this as group work. And then you would divide the 15 objects evenly in your group. That way you would have 3 or 4 objects to do rather than the whole 15. You're going to collect the information on a shared document. You can do that by adding a page or sharing the document, which some classes have found easier to do. If you share it, everyone can edit the page at the same time. Then you're going to take all the information that you have and you're going to take the 15 objects and you're going to sort them into groups. You're going to use the criteria that they use. Maybe you're going to use mass, maybe you're going to use distance from the sun, but you're going to use one of the categories on the data collection card and you're going to sort them 3 times. You're going to take one of those categorizations and you're going to put it in your science notebook. You don't have to put all 3, you just have to put one and enter into your science notebook. The last thing they talk about in lesson 2 is they're talking about models of space. And there's 2 different models usually when you're in 8th grade that you're going to have to draw. You draw this model or you draw this model. Each model is useful in its own way. When I'm looking at this model, this one is showing the relative distance from the sun. So if I look, this is not the correct distance. They're all bunched up to make it easier so we can see larger pictures. But this one, since it doesn't show you relative distance, it tells you relative size. So they compare the size of the sun to the size of Mercury. And you can get an idea how big planets are, how small planets are in this one.